Welcome to That Guy's a Maniac, episode 15, or in Roman numeral / Final Fantasy terms, XV. And yeah, we are talking about the new expansion to the Pokemon game, the Isle of Armor. What the fuck?
Keep going. Just stumble through it. I can almost hear the gears in your brain turning. We are... Sorry. Oh.
What the hell happened on your side? It sounded like a fan just started up. That's what put me off.
Did it? No, I don't know.
Alright, okay. Cool. Yeah. So, the Isle of Armor expansion DLC for the Pokemon game. Yeah, and we are Richie, and we are also...
You're also Gunzi.
AKA.
Intro, man. Yeah.
Should we just... Oh man, I feel like we should just take this one and start again.
No.
No?
Keep it in. It's all good.
Oh man. Right.
We always do everything in one take, so...
Yeah, absolutely. Never any editing.
Recording 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And I certainly don't do anything. There's that sound again.
That would be traffic passing my window.
Oh, right, okay, well, that's what put me off. That's why this intro is so bad. Yeah, so we are That Guy's a Maniac. You can find us at www.thatguys.co.uk, where we pretty much just post our podcasts nowadays. But we do blog occasionally, and have blogged for the past 15 years. We do tweets, and you can find those.
we do tweets, we make images,
we do tweets. And you can find us at That Guy's a Maniac on Instagram and Twitter if you want to see our tweets.
We do.
And yeah, the tweets that we do. Fucking hell, man. Do we have a sponsor? Because I love the fact that we could be sponsored for our content. Who's sponsoring us for?
Yeah, so we're grateful for all our sponsors. Without them, this couldn't be. Oh, fucking
excellent. It's a good job they don't exist, isn't it? It's a really good job.
We're sponsored this week by Cramomatic for all your ball needs.
For all your what needs? Pokeball needs.
Ball needs.
Ball needs,
just
bro.
Balls.
Just balls. Straight up balls, man.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. I think that's possibly the worst intro to a podcast ever. Yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Something.
In summation, episode 15, talking about Pokemon expansion. But before we talk about the Pokemon expansion, Farley and I just sat down and we took 7 minutes out of our life to watch the Pokemon Presents thing on YouTube, where they showed us Pokemon Unite, which is basically League of Legends Pokemon. I have very little to say on this. Farley, anything you wanted to say?
No, I was excited to record this podcast, and then that video came out, and now I'm just less excited for Pokemon in general.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, I think it's just a bit boring. I mean, what are they trying to do? It's explicitly, whatever, a Dota League of Legends clone.
See, I'm not even sure it's even that. It's a free-to-play monstrosity. It's gonna be like all the shit that I was talking about last podcast. It's gonna be that again, but with Pokemon skin. I can't be bothered with it.
But just what are they trying to do? They already have like a esports side of things, which, to be honest, they could be doing a lot better with.
Yeah, definitely.
Why try and compete with? And then the other thing, this won't be the whole podcast, I swear. But the other thing that's really annoying about it is, like every time they stray from kind of thinking about, okay, what is it that people like about Pokemon? It's the fact that there's lots of different characters that you can kind of, adjust and customize and think about strategy. And then in all the bad spin-offs, in my opinion, they forget that side of things. So we end up with things like Pokemon Unite, where, it's whatever, the 12 most bankable characters. We'll get rid of the idea of, different types. We'll get rid of the idea of these complicated movesets. Their skin job. If you're all for that, and to my surprise, the reaction on social media seemed to be generally positive. So I guess we're just the grumpy internet men, really.
Well,
this one.
Yes and no. I mean, right before this announcement, everybody was like so excited for what this game could be, what it could mean, what is this game going to be, and like everybody was thinking it was going to be excuse me, everybody was thinking it was going to be like Let's Go Johto, or it was going to be a Sinnoh remake, which people seemed really, really keen about, or it was going to be an announcement for, I don't even know how to pronounce the new Pokemon's name, going to be in Smash, but yeah, none of those things happened, and what we got was a free-to-play Pokemon League of Legends thing that's probably pay to win.
Yeah, I mean, the obvious thing to do, which they never seem to do actually, would be, all whatever 900 Pokemon are in it, and you pay £2 for your favourite one.
Yeah.
But I imagine like half of the Pokemon free-to-pay mobile things that no longer exist, if it's not a massive success, it would just be quietly kind of killed off. Anyway, so it's just put a little bit of a downer specifically on today. I guess we'll think about it. We'll see. We'll see when it comes out.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, I can guarantee you will. That's the thing. As much as you don't want to, like that Pokemon Quest or Pokemon Rumble, again, not really good games, but because they've got Pokemon name on it, you will spend a long time on them and collect everything that's collectible in them.
No, so I didn't really get into Masters.
Masters isn't really a Pokemon game, though.
The new Rumble mobile was deleted after a couple of days.
Yeah, good shout.
There's been quite a few actually. It's like, nah.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Nah.
But Pokemon Quest, I don't understand why you spent so long on that one.
As I've explained in a previous podcast, it's a good to have in the background game.
Okay, cool. Right. So let's talk about the Isle of Armor expansion.
Yes. So, for those of you who don't know, unlike all previous mainline Pokemon games, with Pokemon Sword and Shield, there are 2 expansions announced, which are kind of DLC chunks that add a little bit of everything. And the first one is Isle of Armor, and that's just come out. It's been out for a week in our timeline. So, however long, it'll be out for a month, I think, by the time this comes out.
Maybe, yeah.
Its announcement was hugely controversial, in inverted commas, amongst a lot of Pokemon fans or alleged fans, because many saw it as, slicing up a game and delivering it in DLC, Why should we have to pay for half the price of the full game for these expansions? They added a bunch of the old Pokemon which weren't in Sword and Shield into it as well. So some people are treating it as basically just paying to put more Pokemon in. We've put a bit of time into. I've put quite a bit of time into it, actually. Tens of hours, probably. How much have you put into it?
I would say probably about 2 or 3 hours.
Okay. And so we'll be talking about some of the stuff that's new, some of our thoughts, stuff we liked, and then we'll be having a look at who's back. So who has been exiled from home.
Yeah. I mean, on that note, I remember when Dex Gate first happened, and everybody was like, I was actually getting approached by people who were thinking about getting back into the Pokemon franchise and things like that, you know, because I am a font of knowledge. And I was just being approached. And basically it was kind of like, oh, why are they doing this? What's the point? Why are they killing off all these? And I just said to everyone, look, there's no way they're getting rid of them. There will be the return of the remaining other 500 Pokemon. It'll just happen. You know, it's not like it's going to disappear entirely. So yeah, any expectations that they were somehow going to kill off and only ever have 400 Pokemon ever, it's just mental. But anyway, yeah, well, we've seen. Let's move on before I start ranting as Billy Big Balls, font of knowledge of everything.
Okay, so what we've got in this expansion is there's a tiny bit of story, which I guess there'll be some minor. Well, I don't know. There's not that much to spoil, to be honest. There's a couple of characters that you bump into. You know, once again, you're very much kind of Mary Sue. You come onto this island which has this kind of dojo with this trainer who's supposedly, you know, one of Galar's best ever trainers, now retired, to run this dojo, and you know, you just destroy him with your level 80 Pokemon, and everyone's surprised at how amazing and brilliant you are. And then
does nobody else use the fucking EXP candies? Is it only
Probably
us?
not. This old guy, so this guy called Mustard, who's the head of the dojo. So it's run by Honey and Mustard, and I didn't put together that it was Honey and Mustard.
I literally didn't even click until you said that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was her name. I just thought he was calling her Honey. Oh my god, okay. Click.
Yeah. It's only when I was reading one of the league cards you get that it talks about Honey and Mustard. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, he's supposedly this grandmaster, and you just destroy him with your high level Pokemon, which is fine. You know, and there's no anyway, such is life. But then what I quite liked is they kind of make you have a mini tour of the island, with some of the kind of story stuff that you do, just to see its different corners. And so I guess that's one of the first things I want to talk about. Is I really like it as an environment. So essentially, it's like the wild area in Sword and Shield, which is this big open area where you run around. There are dens to do max raiding. There are berry trees to shake. There are wild Pokemon. It's just a big open area like that, with some places for you to stop off at. There's the train station, there's a dojo, there's 2 challenge towers. It feels much more kind of detailed and structured than the wild area. But of course, you know, we've been running around the wild area for a while now. Yeah, it felt a little bit more like a natural environment, and
yeah.
For the first, you know.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Yeah. I tend to agree. I like the fact that it was more distinct, having that forest area that's kind of, you can get lost in, exactly as you were saying there, and like, because it's an island, it feels like an island as well, because you can sort of dick out in the ocean and see giant whale lords and stuff like that. But yeah, what I liked was it just felt a little bit more seamless, because with the wild area it was kind of a feeling of, right, I am moving from the regular plot area to the wild area now in the original game. But whereas this is, oh shit, the wild area and the plot area is the same thing. This is cool. But essentially it's just a dojo and the wild area. But that makes the game feel less... it makes the game feel seamless.
Yeah. No, I really... we've got some kind of new environments. There's caves. There's more of a... I guess we had deserts before, but there's like a wetlands and a nice forest. There's shit everywhere. There's just items to pick up. Kind of respawning items, buried trees. So I've really enjoyed kind of running around, and in doing raiding, some of the dens are really hidden, like really well hidden.
Yeah,
so,
like you can see, like you'll be walking along a cliff edge and you'll see one like down the river, and you're like, how do I get down to that river? And it turns out you have to backtrack through a cave in order to get onto the river to move along. Yeah.
Or there'll be a beam off in the distance, and you'll be like, oh, okay, how do I?
I'll head directly to it. Yeah, but no use.
And then kind of go around. Really like it. I guess with familiarity, it'll feel a little bit more comfortable and less kind of exotic. What's been really strange actually is going back to the old wild area to do bits and pieces, and it happens in some games more than others. But when like an area kind of feels like your home or like your hub, and you're kind of like, everything's. I've had feelings of that going back to the old wild area. It's like, oh, my old safe, self-contained, very linear, big box wild area where I'm not going to be surprised by anything, or be hunting for items, or bump into something I wasn't expecting. So that's been quite nice. We get more and more quality of life improvements. We talked previously about some of the quality of life stuff that we've been getting in recent games, and this one we now have the ability. So there's an item that spawns in the wild called mega mushrooms.
Yeah.
If you collect a bunch of those, you can now give a Pokemon that has the possibility of being Gigantamax form, and you can also un-Gigantamax them. Don't know why you'd want to do that, but you can. So that's great, because I had a shiny Gengar and an old school shiny Charizard, and so now both of those are Gigantamax. That's great. Shiny Gigantamax Gengar is cool. Big white mouth, essentially. And then we've got some new Gigantamax forms. Thoughts on those?
The Gigantamax forms, I mean, I did a little bit of reading, didn't see any of them, but I saw the starters. The Rillaboom gets a drum set, Blastoise gets a whole bunch of things on his back. Like Blastoise is a weird one, because when I just kind of saw the starters again, I thought, wait a minute, these guys had Mega Evolutions. Surely Gigantamax form should just kind of follow suit in the same fashion? Or do we need another form of Blastoise or whatever? Well, I guess so. And yeah, then
I caught. I think I just caught a shiny Squirtle on Go and transferred it over. So put them some time to kind of leveling it up and then Gigantamaxing it. And so I've actually been using Gigantamax Blastoise quite a bit, but I was going to say exactly the same thing as you. It's that problem of like you get it with anime as well. When you have to keep ramping something up, right? So original Blastoise is like, oh no, well, Squirtle's oh, he's a little turtle. Wartortle, oh, he's a little angry turtle. Blastoise like, okay, how do we go one up from being a little angry turtle? Oh, a massive turtle with some water cannons. Then we got Mega Blastoise. It's like, okay, how can we go up from a big fat turtle with some water cannons? Okay, a big fat turtle with 3 water cannons. And then the Gigantamax Blastoise it goes giant and then has something like 12 cannons and a huge central one. And if you when you get around to it, make sure you do kind of watch the animation for its G-Max move, because it's kind of cool with all these kind of firing cannons. So yeah, I mean, whatever gimmick the next game in the series brings, I don't know whether Blastoise just becomes one giant cannon, fuses with another Blastoise, and then turns into 400 cannons. Venusaur also gets a Gigantamax form. Unfortunately, it's a bit sad. Just kind of the droopy flower gets even bigger, so you can't even really see Venusaur. It just looks like a giant Rafflesia.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
And then you've got the weird gecko one, which gets a sniper gun and is up on a tower.
He gets a sniper tower.
Yeah.
And a gun.
Yeah. Thank goodness there's no JFK Pokemon.
Yeah, I was gonna say. And then Cinderace.
You were gonna say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say exactly the same thing. And decided against it.
Alright, okay.
And then Cinderace, the football bunny, he gets a giant. What they call in Final Fantasy?
Oh, Bombchews.
Are they called Bombchews?
Yeah. There's definitely Bombchews, yeah.
He gets a giant Bombchew.
Are you Googling Bombchew right now?
I'm not, no, I'm not. I believe you.
Okay.
Yeah, so great to have the original starters all back together, so it's not just Charizard. Not too fussed about new starters, to be honest.
Yeah, no, we got given the hidden abilities of all of the starter Pokemon, the new starters.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I guess everybody should be using them and making Gigantamax versions of them. I boxed them. I don't care. Really.
I gave him some Mega Mushrooms. Saw the animation once. Put them in a box. We'll likely never see them again.
Yeah. And then of course there's the other new Gigantamax form for the new Pokemon as well.
So this expansion adds 2 new Pokemon, one with 2 forms.
It adds more than 2.
New Pokemon.
Yeah. So you've got the pre-evolution of Teddy Foo or whatever he's called, and then he evolves into a giant bear, and then you've got that other weird thing with the big head.
He's not out yet though.
Is he not?
Zarude.
Yeah, I've already caught him.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh my god, have I just completely missed this?
I'm joking, I'm not caught him. But no, Zarude, yeah, that's the monkey as well, but there's also that weird deer with the Triforce on its neck that stands up.
He's in the next one.
Is he? Oh, okay, cool. Never mind then.
Yeah. So we just get you get given a cub foo.
Teddy Foo.
Like Teddy, no. That's a good nickname for him. It's just like a kung fu teddy bear, and then you can take him to one of 2 towers, do a bunch of fights, and then you can either transform him into a fighting in dark style or a fighting in water style. It's fine. I mean, I did that. I'm not going to use it seems to be quite popular. Quite a few people are using it. I don't know whether it's just because it's new.
Just because it's new. I mean, it is. Yeah. It's a glorified Pancham again. You know,
Pangoro.
Pangoro. Yeah, it's. I don't understand what it is. Why does it exist? You know, it does not gel with me in any fashion. Just like I was more annoyed. Sorry,
you're
go on.
Rocking a Ursa Ring, Beartic, Pangoro, slacking Urshifu, big punchy bear team.
No, I am absolutely not. None of them are fairy types, Farley. None of them.
It's true. Bring back the fairy bears. Oh, what about Beware?
Beware, oh god. That's a frightening thing though. Beware. You know, this giant sort of pill-shaped bear thing. I don't like it. No.
Okay.
Regardless, I'm not doing that. Right.
Okay.
Moving on.
So yeah, thoughts? Any other thoughts on Kung Fu Urshifu?
Nah, like I mean, you get forced to actually use them, which bothered me because, as with all of these legendaries and shit like that, you're like, all right, okay, maybe I should EV it properly or do something beforehand before it fights anything and gets shit EVs, and then I realised I didn't care. But yeah, it's fine. It is what it is. It doesn't add much to the story. You could have literally replaced any of those scenes with any other Pokemon, and it wouldn't have mattered. You know, and yeah, it's weird that you only get one of them. It doesn't breed, and you have to evolve it to do the story as well.
Yeah, it feels a bit like. I mean, I've got a couple, so God knows how people are making them. I have got one for Living Dex via the GTS, but yeah, it just seems a bit stingy to force an economy where this is a new expansion pass which people won't have, and then everyone gets one of these things, but it has 2 forms that can evolve into. So come on. That's just stingy.
Yeah.
Unless we get some more in the future, which they've kind of been a bit good about doing with the kind of rotating events. Incidentally, just because you mentioned it, there's a couple of new useful characters. And one of them is a woman who will delete all your EVs for you.
Oh, really? Oh, that's handy.
For 10 Armorites. Which is kind of the new high value item in the expansion. She's just standing on an island on her own, quite easy to miss. She's called Lady Clear. So if you go over there, bung her 10 Armorite, she'll wipe the EVs off things. So.
Lady Clear. Oh yeah, man, that sounds like a shaving product of some kind.
It sounds like some kind of fungicide.
Oh god.
Yeah. So Lady Clear, she'll do it. So I did actually, once I evolved it, I did put my Urshifu through the kind of clearing. The other kind of new form that we get, which was teased a lot, is the new Slowbro.
Yes.
It's finally been unveiled.
And finally.
Tell us about it, Richie.
Will we finally get a poison and a psychic type? Because we've been asking for it for ages. Haven't we?
Have we?
No.
Just checking. Is that a new type combination?
Yeah, it's a new type combination. There's never been a psychic and poison before. Yeah, so that's why it's quite cool.
I am double checking. But...
Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright, well, we actually had this conversation before.
I know, I think I opened it with like, hey, it's a new combination we've not had before. Okay, fine. Let's say it. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like it. Yep.
Yeah, so instead of having the tail on its butt, or the shoulder on its butt, or the shoulder on its head, it has the shoulder on its arm. In the Pokédex description, it says it squeezes Shelder's tongue to fire the poison out of his head.
Yeah.
Which is quite grim. And it's got a unique move, which is quite interesting, actually. Shell sidearm. So it'll inflict physical or special damage depending on which one will do more damage.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. Really cool, yeah. So, okay.
And has a chance of poisoning the target. And then its ability is quick draw. So essentially, I think it just means it's as if it's carrying a quick claw.
Quick claw. Yeah, it's exactly that. Yeah. So occasionally it will just move first, which is great for Slowbro, you know. And it was given a new hidden ability as well.
I didn't know this. What was it?
It's Regenerator. So
nice.
Yeah, it's the one where whenever you swap them in and out of combat, you get a little bit of HP back. So you can make a tanky form one, which would be quite interesting. 'Cause I'm trying to think, psychic and poison. What are its weaknesses? Because we love doing this. I guess Ghost is one.
Dark ground.
Dark and ground, yeah, Ghost, dark and ground. Okay, that's quite a bit.
Does psychic resist psychic?
No, I don't think it. I think it's just psychic is normal against psychic.
Okay, I'm looking it up.
And what is the rule between the relationship of bug and poison? Is bug super effective against poison? Is there any relationship between them?
I don't think there is. Let's have a look.
Okay.
So no 4-time weaknesses. It's resistance to fire, resistance to water, electric, grass, and bug, and ghost, and dark do double.
Grass against poison, of course. Okay.
No, what does grass do? Is grass... What?
No. Okay. Where are you getting this information from? Because it's
Cerebi.net.
Yeah, well, it's probably not up to date. It's using water, potentially, as in Slowbro's old form. Yeah. Okay. So
you never know.
Bug will do something because it's super effective against psychic. Whether or not poison does something to that or not, and of course, Bug is always super competitive as a Pokemon type.
You've got to look out for those leech lives.
Yeah. Right. So new Pokemon. I'll definitely train one up. You managed to even breed a shiny before the expansion came out, didn't you?
Yeah, I got really excited about the fact that we'll have Slowbro, two forms of Slowbro and 2 forms of Slowking, and with 2 shinies of either of those, you just have a full team of different kind of slow guys running around with shells on bits of them. So yeah. I did a bit of shiny hunting in Let's Go, so at some point I will train up a shiny Galarian Slowbro. I'm going to hold on. So we know that there's a kind of a Galarian Slowking, but we don't quite know what it looks like coming with the new DLC. So I'll hold off to see what that looks like. But I think that's going to be, I don't know, it sort of looks like it's wearing it could either be a top hat or like a Phantom of the Opera type thing. Yeah,
or like it might just be another Slowbro. It might not be a Slowking.
I think it is because it's got a head thing.
Yeah, I suppose.
A hat thing. Anyway, we'll see. So I'm looking forward to having one of those. Although I have been thinking about that ability. I don't know if that ability is good or not.
But the quick draw one.
No, sorry, the sidearm move.
Yeah, definitely good. Like, it means that, like, regardless of what stat you're putting it into, you're going to do the most damage regardless of what defensive typing you're up against. I mean, it's not...
Yeah.
Everything goes out the fucking window, and this is my rant against this entire generation. Everything goes out the fucking window when you're doing the Dynamax forms or raiding, because it's just it's a little bit bullshit what happens there, especially in the raiding. It just takes too long, and it's, you know, it is a thing. But yeah, ultimately, if there was no Dynamax forms, that's a very, very good competitive move, even though I just heard about it.
There we go. So we'll be seeing it at Nationals. You heard it here first.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the other things that I quite like is they've made some slight tweaks which kind of affect the base game, or the areas that are in the base game. One of them's a tiny thing, but they've changed the text for when you shake the berry trees, and I appreciate this because it made no sense before that a tree would be growing like 4 different varieties of berries.
Okay, what did they change the text from and to?
So they changed it. I can't remember what you used to say, but it just kind of said something along the lines of "this is a berry tree," and now they've changed it to "this is a tree where Pokemon stash their food."
Right. Yes, that's what they did. Yep.
And so that text has changed on the kind of mainland, as it were, and then the new one. So that makes it such a trivial thing. I think that's what it. Yeah. So now that makes a little bit more sense and explains why sometimes you find leftovers and whatever up in those trees. There's also another kind of useful character who will turn your Pokemon which you brought through home, will allow them to be used in ranked battles. I think it deletes there's certain moves that it will delete, which I think is just the incompatible ones. But essentially it gets like a Galar stamp, and so you can use, essentially if you run things through that, you can use any Pokemon in ranked battles. Yep. As long as they're allowed, which is good, because it was annoying kind of having to drag out the non-shiny guys every time we want to do a competition. We've got this is such a first world problem, but you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So annoying. Oh yeah, everyone was so annoyed about it. We've also got some new moves. So there's a dojo, and if you just keep throwing watts at the dojo, it's something like 3 million watts. Various little facilities pop up and stuff like that, which make life a little bit easier. And one of those is a move tutor, and we've got a whole bunch of new moves. Have you looked at any of those?
I saw the move tutor, but that's about it really. Okay. I don't know. There's. Is there anything much more beyond like the TMs or the TRs?
Yes, I think we've got 20 or so new moves.
Okay.
Some of my favourites are, we've got a new rock type move, which is very exciting, called Meteor Beam, which does 120 damage, special damage, 90 accuracy, and it's a 2-turn attack. So it gathers power on the first turn, which boosts its special attack, and then attacks the target on the next turn. So nice, chunky, special rock move.
Yeah. Who can learn that?
A whole bunch of boys. But I was looking at which native rock user. So, yeah, which rock type Pokemon could best make use of that?
Yeah, who has the highest special attack? Yeah.
Who has the highest special attack? Who can learn that move? And unfortunately, it's Lunatone, which is not good news. Lunatone and Solrock are just not very good Pokemon. So at some point, I'll come up with a build with a Meteor Beam Lunatone, and that'll be literally the one trick that it does. Probably with the Power Herb. Other notable moves, some of them I've literally only just reading about. Water gets a U-turn, a physical U-turn.
Okay, cool.
So flip turn, 60 damage, and a switch out. Is there something for Richie? There is. Misty Explosion.
Oh dear.
Which is, I presume, nothing to do with the gym leader. It's very special attack, 100 accuracy, 100 base power, attacks everything around it, and faints upon using the move.
Nice. That is very Richie.
Increased on misty terrain. So yeah, if you've got misty terrain up, increases the damage. So essentially, it's like a misty explosion, which is what it's called. A fairy explosion. Sorry, not misty explosion.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of terrain bullshit ones, which I'm not particularly interested in.
Oh, I saw triple axle, because Lopunny, a returner, can learn one move, and that is triple axle.
Oh, nice.
No, not really. It's an ice physical attack. With, it's got 90% accuracy and 20 base, which increases on each consecutive hit. I'm like, I'm never gonna use that. That is just never gonna happen. Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Well,
so
we'll get to
new
that.
moves, and then all of the starters get their own G-Max moves. Like I say, Cannonade's quite cool. I'm enjoying that one. We've got some new clothes.
Yes,
So,
we really do.
Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield has some good dressing up. We're big fans of dressing up. We spent a lot of poker dollars on various clothes. You've had a look. I think you've had more of a look at the new clothes than me.
Yeah, I went to every single store. I bought all I could afford, and that is a big hint as to how expensive some of them can be. They're ridiculous amounts. So I didn't buy everything. But yeah, got myself a pair of fishnets, some lacy gloves.
Nice.
Got a new haircut, and some proper dresses finally, because there was like 2 dresses. Oh, I was so annoyed with them.
Yeah, and one of them wasn't really nice. That wasn't really a nice design.
No.
And so there's only really one viable dress in a handful of colours. So I saw the new dresses, which I'm excited about. There's some snazzy new heels.
Yep, I bought them straight away. In white.
Me too, in red. And then there's kind of like slight variants of the studded leather jacket.
Well, there is. I mean, all of the clothes are recreating characters from Galar, so you're able to recreate Marnie, fan favourite, in different colours. You can recreate Rose as well, and I think the Glassy's new Pokemon professor woman who's ditzy that follows you around. Can't remember her name. Yeah, you can recreate her. Yeah.
Sonia?
I'm gonna say Sonia. Yeah. But yeah, so you can sort of recreate these characters as your avatars, which is a bit weird. But it is what it is. But I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I could touch Marnie's haircut. It seems too iconic to give your character Marnie's haircut, you know?
Yeah. So since the launch, since the launch of this DLC, I've been playing it a fair bit, and there are quite a few Marnie identikits running around. And I guess I personally, quite like having my own character.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's quite a few people who like kind of copying that style, or just I don't know whether they're wanting to be Marnies themselves.
I guess so.
It's very popular. There's also a couple of cool new T-shirts. Unfortunately, I don't think there's never really anywhere in the game where you get a really good close-up of what's on the front of your t-shirt.
No.
So they're cool designs, but I'm not going to wear them because you rarely ever see them. But yeah, there's some really nice new t-shirt designs as well.
Yeah.
Which is good. What else is on my list? Oh, so
Rivals. The Rivals. We never talked about them.
The Rivals. So I think you were playing on Sword. And I'm playing on Shield. And in the expansion, we get different rivals. So following on from having different gym leaders, you have by far the better one, I think.
Yes. I have the Poison Woman, and I forget her name, Clara, I think. Yeah. And you first meet your rival when you had the Slowpoke event. I don't know, about 3 or 4 months ago, you were able to log in and you got a little event where you got your Galarian Slowpoke. They hint and teased the new expansion, and you first see them, but then you actually get to interact with them a little bit more, and apparently they're both arseholes. And I don't know anything about your guy with the top hat.
Okay.
But on my side, she was a total arsehole, and she was great as well. It's like she's supposed to welcome you to the dojo, but then she finds out how good you are, and then it's like, maybe you don't want to come to the dojo because then people won't notice me. And she has these sort of inner monologues to the viewer, which is you, but not you. And you get to see her, oh my god, don't come back to the dojo, nobody will see my brilliance. And so it's kind of like that evolves, and so she's really, really snide in everything she does, including like your final battle with her, where she actually puts toxic spikes on the battlefield before you actually start of launch out, so everybody just gets poisoned all the time. But since you're rocking a team of level 100s, it means nothing to you. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, so unfortunately, it sounds like they're just identical characters.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, the one in the Shield expansion's Avery. He's a psychic guy. Again, picture up from the train station. And then tries to kind of sabotage you throughout all the tasks you have to do. And yeah, he's just a bit annoying. And then in kind of his detail in the league, his trainer card is that, he was born. Sometimes you forget that Pokemon just straight up has people who have psychic abilities. So he's born into a family of psychics, but like his psychic powers weren't as good. And then he got quite lazy at the dojo, and then because you turned out to be his rival, it pushed him on, kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much identical.
Oh, that's a shame that they're identical. But yeah, Poison Lady always over Psychic.
Yeah, definitely.
This silly top hat. And then I've seen him in raids as well. So Avery then pops up randomly as an NPC.
Oh god, yes! Thank God for the new selection of raid people as well. I was fed up with non-stop. There's not enough. I know. We just need to get rid of the old ones. Starting a raid because I bumped into one of the Zioras, and I thought, yeah, I'll do that. But I wasn't online, so I just did it anyway, and I joined with a guy with a Torkoal, a guy with a Magikarp, and then there was one other guy, the dojo guy, with a Poliwhirl. I'm like, excellent. If only you weren't weak to lightning. But still, it was just like, finally a decent character that isn't a useless throwaway Pokemon,
I know. So great. Wobbuffet, Eevee, and Magikarp. Great.
I know. Oh dear.
Yeah, so that's nice. And then there seems to be, although I've only encountered it once or twice, you bump into various gym leaders on the island, which I think is just a nice random thing that happens of little to no kind of consequence. I will say it's been quite positive. So I mean, I've enjoyed myself. I look forward to kind of exploring the new area, beyond the kind of immediate beats of the new short kind of story section. There is quite a bit to be doing, so it kind of feels like you've got lots of plates on the go. There's a really annoying find 151 Diglett mini game, which I did do, and the rewards are not. I guess if you don't have the older games, it's fantastic because it's a way of getting all the
Alolan versions,
forms. Yeah. But I will say, if you are going to embark on that challenge, keep a note of the regions you've cleared. So I, being Billy Big Balls, thought I didn't need to. Rounded up as many as I thought, and because it kind of tells you.
Yeah.
So the map's divided up into areas like the last one. It says, you've got, there are no more left in this area. Went to speak to the guy, and he's like, oh, have a Alolan Marowak, have a blah 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 blah. You're missing 3, and I had no idea. I thought I'd got them all, and so then I had to kind of manually check with a walkthrough every single location to eventually find the missing 3. So write down the areas you clear, and don't half-assedly do it when you see them, without jotting them down, because it's just going to drive you insane.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to do that.
It's not worth it. I mean, then it's not even like Oh, no, that's not true. The Diglett he gave me was 6 max IV.
Oh, okay. I'd rather spend the time breeding a Diglett that I won't use.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's totally valid. Totally valid point. One of the things that did annoy me a little bit, we mentioned this before, I think perhaps in our written review rather than anything we've recorded over audio.
What? We have written reviews of things? Where can people find our written reviews, Farley?
You can find a wealth of written reviews about video games, normally 4 to 5 years after the game came out, on www.thatguys.co.uk. You can find a review of the original the Pokemon Sword and Shield base game.
Yeah.
Where we go into this detail, into this aspect in a little bit more depth.
Do we do tweets?
Sometimes we make tweets.
Sometimes we make tweets.
But yeah, one of the issues is these games are technically some of the worst Pokemon games we've had, I think. Just, and it's nothing major. I've not had any huge crashes to title screens. It's just bits and pieces don't quite function very well. And then with this, the mobile and Switch app Home, it's just been such a piece of shit since it launched. Just bugs, things not registering. Almost every time you put something on the GTS, it kind of comes up with a error code, even though it kind of uploaded them. And so, with this expansion coming out, there were some more kind of Pokedex bugs. So a couple of forms which have already been crossed off have popped back on mine. I think that's an issue that other people are seeing. The Switch version isn't up to date, so it doesn't have all the new forms in it. And then there was just a little bit of the usual kind of Nintendo polish was just kind of missing. I felt in playing this, and I didn't kind of write down concrete examples of it, but it feels like it's very kind of unstructured. Lots of things you should kind of discover or organically, or using a resource like Cerebi. Like, oh right, okay, that's a thing that's existed and isn't really explained anywhere in the game. And I feel previously they would have kind of taken a little bit more effort and care. So yeah, that's my main complaint.
Well, on the note of bugginess, ropiness. I mean, I didn't actually have too much of a fuss with Home, but I didn't use it anywhere near as much as you did. But I'm still pissed off that there is performance issues on in the wild area, and even in the new wild area as well. Just like, I understand that you have these other cyclists running about and they're AI versions of other players, and they are the way you get ingredients for curries, or you sometimes get some other items and things like that. But like them popping into existence, and like just
cycling
actually
off into the sky.
Yeah,
in some cases.
But not just that, just them travelling around and you travelling around. The thing fucking stutters. Now, if this had been on the PC, or indeed if it had been on the PS, the PlayStation or Xbox, people would have been fucking raging. But for some reason, people just accept this. It's like, oh, it's Nintendo, it's a weak platform or something like that. What the fuck? No! Like, why is it doing this, and why are we allowing this, and why aren't more people talking about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if you do have a group of friends, I've got a little gaggle of people who do a lot of raiding with. It's quite a high proportion of the time one of us gets a disconnect error. We had a kind of like a day of it the other day. And I think out of 10 raids we did back to back, one of us either got kicked out or something, or blah blah blah. For most of them, so yeah,
and that menu as well for the ability just to like search for max raids and things like that.
I know.
Why can't you refresh? Like literally, the only thing to do is like turn off the Wi-Fi, turn it back on, and that is not like a nice process at all. So there's definitely still issues which have not been addressed in this generation. This expansion.
Yeah, and it's getting worse. I think as they bolt these games onto each other. So we'll see what happens when Crown Tundra comes out. So that's been my main negative. But yeah, there's tens of hours of content there if you are somebody like me who likes to do everything. Still some stuff I haven't done. They also throw in a kind of a new challenge. It's kind of it's restricted battles, so you have to win 5 3-on-3 monotype battles. Healing but you can't heal. You can only heal your team twice. So that's quite nice. Actually, quite difficult.
Did it first time.
Did all of it first time, and you just took a team of 1.
Yeah, one was more than enough. I didn't think people would actually do all 3. That'd be total losers.
Well, I guess there are children out there who might be playing this game. And,
I don't know. It's not really a game for kids, is it?
Mature themes, definitely, including snipers on towers,
or dressing up children in fishnets,
lacy gloves, both of which so almost a bit behind the scenes content again. When it dropped, we were both kind of in and out because I think we both had work and other stuff going on. But one of the earliest exchanges was about the clothes and how we both like the new bun. So you get when you go to the dojo, there's a new hairdo, which is a bun. And yeah, both big fans of the bun. And then when we were showing our outfits off to each other, which is a completely normal thing to do.
Very normal.
We'd both gone for the lacy gloves.
Yep.
Mine in a fetching yellow.
Mine are black. just to
Nice.
contrast my my white hair and white outfit and pink fluffy jacket.
You've gone for the big pink fluffy jacket.
Yeah, it's a nod to Lopunny, who was one of the many returning Pokemon.
Yes, so let's end the podcast with. Do you know how many they added? I didn't count.
100.
Okay, so we have 100 returning Pokemon. You can either think of it as this is a lovely thing, or this is a scummy thing to do. But either way, they are back. And so let's go through some of the highlights. So highlight number 1 with a bullet for me is Jigglypuff is back, as is Igglybuff and Wigglytuff.
Yeah, awesome. Cool.
And you also just on the island, which is a bit stingy, but the follow mechanic is back. So the top Pokemon in your party, after a while, you unlock the ability for the top Pokemon in your party to follow you around. Much requested feature that we've had in some games, and it's been taken away.
Yeah. Just, it's like they've had it since Generation 1 when you had Pikachu following you around, you know? So, yeah, it's mental that it isn't a staple. But there you go. Yeah, it's cool. And it's so much fun.
But it also shows the shiny... if you've got a shiny Pokemon, then it's a shiny Pokemon that follows you. Which makes me wonder, why can't you just see shiny Pokemon in the wild? You've got all the models.
Because the mechanic's different. It's like, in theory, you could just respawn and spawn over and over and over again just by walking to and from that patch until you get a shiny. It's not like... Yeah.
Well, that's fine. Because, essentially that's happening anyway. Hello?
Yeah, no, sorry, cogs are turning.
Okay, so...
In my head, there was a good argument there.
I think, again, it was Joe from Cerebi was tweeting about the statistics. So the shininess is generated as they pop up on the screen.
Okay.
So, depending on how much you've been playing and running around, you will have walked past, do the maths, so you will have walked past X
number of
shiny
shinies,
Pokemon
yeah.
that you never knew were shinies.
I'm happy happy knowing that, though.
Are you happy knowing that? Or are you happy not knowing? Ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss, definitely.
It's mad. They're all in there. It's mad. But yeah, stingily, that's just when you're in the Isle of Armor. You got 2 of your faves back in.
Yeah, I was very happy to get Lopunny back in. Definitely one of my favourites. That's why I'm rocking the furry jacket. My biggest issue is none of the moves that she'd previously learned are like viable or usable. They've given her triple axle for some reason, and they've taken away things like high jump kick, or just jump kick, and dizzy punch, and all the ones that it had before.
All the cheat moves.
Yeah, all the cheaty moves are gone. So that made me a bit sad, and I've redone her with the move tutor moves, and alright, okay. So my best move now is headbutt, which just makes which just gives you a little insight into how bad the moveset has become. So it's great to have her back, but at the same time, and yeah, Dunsparce is back. Nah, I mean, I'm lucky enough to already have shinies and things like that, and it's really cool to have Serene Grace as a main thing. The I still could rock. What's it called? The para flinch moveset.
Para flinch.
But one. Does it still have bite or headbutt? Oh my god, no, it doesn't. Oh my god. I haven't even looked at this, but I've just found out it does not have bite or body slam. It has headbutt.
Those moves still exist, right?
Egg moves. Okay, cool. They're in egg moves. Right, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So basically what Serene Grace does is it doubles the effect of flinching moves. Or, sorry, secondary effects. Secondary effects. Yeah. So things like Headbutt has the ability to make the opposing Pokemon flinch at around 30% of the time. And then if you get Serene Grace, that's around 60% of the time. Which is actually substantial if you mixed it with Thunder Wave, which paralysed it, so para flinch. Unfortunately, since about 2 generations ago, Thunder Wave has been gimped or nerfed, as it initially 1 in 3 chance, and it's now 1 in 4 chance of paralysing the Pokemon. So basically you have a paralysed Pokemon who would be flinched, or the chances were quite high because it was like 66%-ish of one or the other happening, and that doesn't happen as much. It's not as good as it once was, but it's I might have a little bit of fun and redo Dunsparce or Queefman, as he is as he is known.
Oh, dear.
That being said, another one of my kind of favourites has made it back, and Miltank as well. So I'm rocking a team with Miltank, and Miltank's is just such a creepy Pokemon with its 4 dildo udders that just swing around, and it's really, really creepy. But there you go, it's there. And I've just straight up, I've got Whitney's moveset on there, so it's good fun.
Hey.
Any other of your favourites?
Other notable returners. So the Lycanroc family is back.
And you can see a tweet of all of your pride of Lycanrocs.
Yeah. So there was an afternoon of putting together silly teams. So there's in Pokemon in the camping kind of mini game. So yeah, it's nice to have the full lineup of the Midnight, Dusk, and whatever the other one is forms, and then Shinies of the Midnight one and the Day one. So 5 different coloured Lycanrocs. What's quite nice is the Own Tempo Rock Ruff is it's just straight up findable in one of the dens.
Yeah.
So everyone can now get that third form of Lycanroc. You got quite a few of your faves back. Klefki's back.
Really, really great. Annoyer Pokemon purely because it has special priorities. It allows it to go first for certain things. And yeah, it's a really good Annoyer. I also got Cloetzer back as well, which is one that I haven't had for a couple of generations now, but so much fun, and I can't wait to actually take the time, which is a really cool shiny. It's
shiny.
Yeah. So I'm going to spend the time and get that one up and going. Beyond that, Dragalge.
Dragalge. This is all your...
Yeah. This is actually quite a good selection. Things I'm Dragalge, again, not a great shiny, but I really loved having a big Dragalge tank with Poison Point. It was so much fun to have one on a team, and if you knew somebody was going to do an attacking move, just switch it in, and then they're going to get poisoned, and then boom, you can start doing the Venishocks and set up that. As soon as you have poison on a Pokemon, there's so many things you can do with it. Like Venishock was a lot of fun last generation. You didn't really dig into that one at all, because you found a muck, and you were quite excited about it. And I explained to you what Venom Drench was.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, that's rubbish. It's really rubbish. I'm like, no. And what it does is it takes down the attack and special attack of the opposing Pokemon. So if you're doing doubles and you do like a poison gas and poison both of them, you then have the ability to just reduce them to do 0 damage, allowing you to set up massive things on your side and then just take them out with a boom boom Venishock, which does double damage against poison types, poisoned Pokemon. Yeah. I really like poison for that.
The downside is you have to have poison Pokemon, which I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I still quite like my Salazzle, and it's got that cool corruption move on it, which allows everything to be poisoned. So yeah, that's quite a good one. Other notables from my side, I don't know. I suppose it's nice to see. It's nice to see like Politoed out in the wild. You know, that was like one of these ones which needed like a rock or trained or something like that. It's not trained, traded. And
it's nice. It's nice to see like Alakazam out in the wild as well. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day.
Yeah, exactly. And you can use your Magerna that you got from Pokemon Home for filling up the entire Pokédex. You can now use it in the game, which is
nice.
Yeah.
Porygon's back, which I know you had a nasty Porygon a while ago.
Did I? Yeah, I think. I liked the idea of Porygon for a while, and I did have a Porygon 3. I wonder, is that like pre the Great Culling, or was it?
I think it was around that time.
Alright, okay. Yeah, because I think I liked the idea of the download thing, the ability to increase the attack when the defense is low or special attack, because it's just random. You know, it's just straight up random. You know what your special defense or attack or whatever stat goes up, because you can never tell what your opponent's going to bring out. So it can be a little bit of fun playing on that level. But yeah, random factor like a tractor.
Yeah, we've got quite a few. I mean, okay, so we focus on some of the ones you're excited about. How about some of the Care Factor Zero? Pokemon.
God, Lillipup.
I mean, Comfy is back.
Oh, that was so disappointing. Yeah.
Yay for Comfy. Druddigon.
Yeah, a pure dragon type. And it looks like the dragon that you get on like St. George's flags or whatever.
You mean the Welsh flag? St. David's?
Welsh. Oh, yeah. Okay, whatever.
Just lost 100%.
Stopping here. Keeping the silence. Just lost 100% of what?
Our Welsh listeners.
Oh, okay.
Which may be one person.
I don't think we have any Welsh listeners.
Oh. Mien Fu and Mien Xiao are back.
Not at all interested.
The dog porn, Zora and Zoroark are back.
Yeah, absolutely. For all your furry yiffy needs.
Yeah.
Petilil,
Lilligant.
Yeah.
Tangrowth.
Tangela.
Tangela. Pedo's back.
Oh, come on, explain that one.
So, in the game, what is it? I think it's the first Poker Park game on the Wii. There's a mini game where you have to circle around a kind of a watercourse. And so I was playing that because for my sins I went all the way through that game.
Sorry, I'm just laughing.
And as you're going around, there's various kind of I think there's like floating logs which are an obstacle, but also occasionally Sharpedos will kind of pop up and kind of, you know.
And of course, that name is an obvious amalgamation of shark and torpedo. You know, it's an easy one. Yeah.
Yes, but in this game, as I was going around at a particular speed, what was happening is the Sharpedos were popping up. If you don't know Pokemon, most Pokemon can only say their own name or part of them. And so I was driving around this course with all these Sharpedos just popping up, just going, Pedo, Pedo, Pedo. Just this constant chorus of Pedo. Or someone fucking Poker Park Wii driving around. So I just refer to it straight Pedo. And actually they do the same thing in this game. So every time you're out in the open ocean, they kind of randomly spawn and then kind of head straight for you.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of that or not?
I am not a fan of that. Like,
no, it's fucking annoying.
Yeah, you genuinely have to hope that your boost is on cooldown and you just go off in another direction. But it's an unnecessary stress factor. Unnecessary, you know. It's already.
You can hear it. Yeah. Sometimes you can hear it, and you'll see one. So it's there's kind of like a area of splashing water that's coming towards you, like classic kind of Jaws style. And then you'll dodge that, and then sometimes you just get blindsided because there was another one on your right side which you hadn't seen. But yeah, I mean, I guess at some point I'll end up with a shiny Sharpedo.
Yeah.
Encountering. The Aural line is back.
I'm happy with that. Azumarill is
really?
Azumarill is an absolute beast. I think we've had this conversation before, and you're like, "Oh, I never knew that." But yeah,
is it belly drum stuff?
And no. If you look at huge power, so
hi, my name's Hugh.
But yeah, huge power. So basically, it's got double its attack stat, and it's already quite nippy and fast. So I actually have like an already trained up one, and it's got some really cool stuff, like priority moves. I can't remember what one it is.
Aquajet?
Yeah, I think Aquajet. Yeah, and I mean that just hits like a ton of bricks from this little rabbit, which is. You can spend all of its points pretty much in defense and HP. Yeah.
And it's fairy, which I forgot.
Yeah.
Staryu, Starmie, Horsey, Kingdra. That's another Richie Pokemon. And then a bunch of the ones with forms, so Exeggutor, Diglett, Marowak.
Yeah. The Firebug.
Volcarona.
Yeah, he's back in as well. He was like a staple favourite of the Unnovas, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, like everybody.
Quite decent for a bug type.
Yeah. But it's a fire type, so it's shit.
See, see previous episodes for Richie's love affair, cold and hot relationship with fire types. So yeah, great to have some of these back. It's been fun, kind of pulling some out of storage. Another weird technical issue, and I don't know.
Oh man, yeah.
Didn't think about it, or whether it really was some kind of technical issue.
The first thing Farley and I did,
is you start up the game, get your new you get your Isle of Armor Pokedex. So it's like a blank Pokedex, but it's already filled because some of them you get in the kind of base game and in the Isle of Armor, so those are automatic transfer. So the first thing we did, the first thing I imagine many people did, was then go to home, transfer all the Pokemon which have been added back in, with the idea of just completely filling out your Pokedex in one shot and not having to worry about it, to then get what's actually quite a cool reward. And so we both did that, meticulously kind of, okay, what's the new ones I can move over, moving them all over, saving the game. I transferred mine back and then go back into the game to realise that it didn't count. So there's an issue which they've acknowledged that they're working on, whereby if you bring some of these newly added Pokemon through the expansion back into the game through home, it doesn't register them in your Pokedex.
Yep. It's it's pretty shit. Should have been done.
Yeah, and it's the first thing that I imagine most people who had the older games would have done. I just don't understand technically how that issue can even happen either.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my only thinking is that the home devs and the actual game devs are different people, and they didn't have a long enough conversation with each other. Which is sad. Yeah. But yeah, let's not end this on a low note. Let's go going back to fucking technicalities. For an expansion, another negative. It was quite a short story. Yeah, it was quite a short story. But that being said, there's just enough for me to want to continue playing. I think being drip fed another 100 Pokemon rather than being given all 900 from the get go is actually quite nice, because as you can tell, we spent about good 20 minutes there just running through. This one. Oh, I want to retrain this one. I think you're being more selective in your choices, having fun within constraints, as it were. So I think it allows a little spotlight to shine. And I'm not against Dexgate or whatever it was. I think we've been quite vocal on that. It's fine, yeah, fair enough. Don't add all 900, but just give us the promise that you will eventually have all 900, or at least a better way of managing them. And hopefully in time, we'll see home working to its full potential, and we'll have another 2 expansions in 2021, 2022, which just fleshes out the rest of the Pokedex, and in between we get some new ones that maybe aren't grass monkeys, because there isn't enough monkeys in there.
Awful typing monkeys. I mean, I'm pretty happy with it, and I think, again, we said in our written review, and it's been happening for the last couple of Pokemon games actually, there's just such a continued pressure of stuff coming out. So this is kind of a big package of the expansion, but since the launch of Sword and Shield, we've had there's been giveaways, there's kind of the rotating battle rating seasons, there's online competitions, then there's the kind of the mini Slowpoke event. What they're doing with the kind of raiding dens and changing those up so often is really good. So at the moment, there's kind of 2 events which are going on. So there's the Zera Aura. There's kind of like a Zera Aura event dens, and if 1 million trainers fight them, then everyone gets.
Incidentally,
Zera Aura.
That's happened. That happened actually 12 hours ago.
There we go.
Yeah.
6 days ahead of schedule. Did you play any of them?
Yeah. I played one with a Magikarp and a Torkoal and a Poliwhirl and my level 100 Miltank, I think. But yeah, it was a 4-star one, so it was not a problem.
Okay, yeah. So because before with the Mewtwo raids, it was kind of cool to have a raid that was slightly more challenging, because once you've got a good bunch of Pokemon which have a good type matchup and you're leveled or whatever, it certainly becomes trivial. So I was just doing a bunch of raids to put in my numbers for the global count.
Yeah.
And the 3-star ones were kind of you could do no problem. 4-star ones were fine unless you're facing weakness. 5-star ones a bit of a pain in the ass. But then I bumped into, I think it was 2. There's occasionally a shiny one will spawn, and they were brutal, brutal. So me and a friend ended up. There were 4 of us who, actually conspiring over WhatsApp, to come up with a strategy, locking down some of the moves with things like Lightning Rod, and it's still just it still beat us.
Wow. Okay.
So if you bump into a shiny one, I'd say gear up with some friends, or don't waste your time, because I think we fought it 6 times in a row and eventually gave up. Tough. And then at the moment we've got, I think it's still running. We've got the switched kind of G-Max event Pokemon. So for all the version exclusives, they now appear on the other version in raids. So that's been fun, hoovering up some Gigantamax Pokemon that I couldn't natively spawn. And yeah, it's just been constant. At some point we'll have, there's a couple of events on the way. And then there's even some weird things. I think we mentioned it before, but like in the original Wild area, there's that ghost tower.
Yes.
Which is actually a den.
Yep.
So you can kind of, look at it and it says, oh, there's nothing here at the moment. A couple of countries have been getting some weird events associated with that ghost tower.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. But really weird. You can spawn a Gigantamax Corviknight.
Okay.
So yeah, hopefully, if they just keep up this stream of just adding little bits and pieces here, it's just kind of, there's always something going on. So you never have. I think since launch, I've never been in a situation where I've been I don't know what to do, or what should it's always okay. I'm doing this and this and this and this, and this event's here, so I'll give this a whiz. I'll give that a try, which has been great. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I ordered it a long time ago, so I think it's £15.
Oh god, no, I think it's like 20 quid for the 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Right. Well, I think we should end it there because that was reasonably positive. End on a high note.
The last one was quite negative.
The Let's Go one.
Yeah. I was listening to it today. We raised good points. But
yeah.
We talked ourselves down significantly.
I mean, I was.
I got talked down.
Yeah. 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 The game bothered me, and I think a lot of my points were actually quite valid. So I think I don't know. Let's keep it positive. This is a good game. This is a good expansion. It's good fun. It's pretty much the main reason I own a Switch. a Pokemon Let's Go Switch. But yeah, I guess until next time, say goodbye, Farley.
Bunnery bun.
Bunnery bun.